Most businesses don't fail at AI because of the technology. They fail because they never solve AI adoption. Here's the reality. You've got the AI tools. You've done the training. You've made the investment. But walk into your office on any given Monday and here's what you'll find. Nothing's changed. Your team's still doing things the old way. The AI dashboard you paid for, it's gathering dust. The productivity you were promised, it's not showing up. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And today, I'm going to tell you why AI implementation fails in most businesses and what high-impact leaders do differently to drive real team AI adoption. Welcome to the High Impact Leader Podcast, a leadership podcast for business owners and leaders who want self-managing teams, stronger accountability, and scalable performance without carrying everything themselves. If you're ready to focus on leadership design, not just effort, you're in the right place. G'day, I'm Brendan Rogers. Let's talk about why your AI implementation isn't paying off and what high-impact leaders do differently to drive AI team adoption. Most leaders think they've solved a problem when they've bought a solution. You purchased the platform, you set up the accounts, you sent around the training links and told everyone to get on it. Case closed, right? Well, wrong. The uncomfortable truth is this. Your team isn't watching what you said. They're watching what you do. And if they haven't seen you in that tool, genuinely using it, learning it, talking about it, they're getting a very clear message. This isn't important enough for the boss. So why should it be important for me? And that's the belief we need to flip today. Let me paint a real picture. You roll out a new tool on a Monday. By Thursday, you've already forgotten about it. But you notice something. Nobody's using it. Not the junior team members, not the senior ones, not even the person who seemed excited in the meeting. This is where momentum stalls. This is where teams disengage. Then comes the question, is this mandatory? Do we have to track our usage? What happens if we don't use it? Each question is a small signal. The message underneath is always the same. We need permission to take this seriously, and that permission has to come from you. Meanwhile, you're still doing things manually. You still write your own emails. You still draft proposals the long way, and your team is watching. They're noticing the gap between what you roll out and what you actually use. It happens in every business. It's predictable and it's fixable. Here's why this keeps showing up week after week. The first reason is that we confuse providing with modeling. We think our job's done when the tool is in place. But your team learned how to behave by watching you, not by reading your announcements. They've always learned that way. Nothing's changed, except now the stakes are higher because you need buy-in for this to work. The second reason is ego. Most business owners get here by being the best at what they do. Admitting you're learning something new, especially something tech-related, can feel like a threat to your authority. But here's what I've learned. The opposite is true. When your team sees you struggle and grow, they feel safe to do the same. The third reason is that we lack a playbook for behavioural change. We know how to buy software. We don't know how to change culture. And until we do, we'll keep rolling out tools that nobody uses. That's how adoption becomes part of culture instead of another failed rollout. Now let me be blunt about what's actually happening while you're waiting for buy-in. You're burning cash. Every month that tool sits unused is money down the drain. Multiply that across your tech stack and you're looking at significant waste. You're training your team to ignore initiative. When new systems get announced but not modelled, the lesson's clear. This too shall pass. Next quarter, there'll be another tool. No need to pay attention now. You're losing ground to competitors who get this. While you're dealing with zero adoption, other leaders are modelling the behaviour, building momentum, and watching their teams surge ahead. The gap widens every single month. And perhaps most critically, you're eroding trust. Your team can spot inauthenticity from a mile away. They know when your words don't match your actions. And every time that happens, your credibility takes a hit. So here's where we need to land. This was never about the tool. It's about leadership. Your team doesn't need better training. They need to see you in the arena. They need to watch you learn publicly. They need permission to be imperfect. The question isn't, have we rolled this out? The question is, are we modeling the behavior we want to see? That's the leadership shift that changes everything. And that's where most businesses quietly lose momentum. Now, what does this look like in practice? High impact leaders go first. Before they ask their team to use it, they're already deep in it. They're sharing prompts that worked. They're showing their screen. They're making their learning visible. High impact leaders create safe failure. They say things like, I'm still figuring this out too. And in doing so, they remove the shame that stops most people from experimenting. High impact leaders build it into rhythm, not as a mandatory requirement, but as part of how the team operates. Weekly experiments, monthly wins, shared learning. That's what modelling looks like. Not perfection, but presence. This connects to the impact triangle. You can't lead your team effectively if you haven't first led yourself through the learning curve. The same vulnerability that makes you a better leader makes your team safer to experiment. So here's your question for today. When did you last let your team see you be bad at something? And what would change if you let them see you get good at it? If any of this landed, I want you to know this is exactly the kind of leadership work we focus on inside the High Impact Leader Club. We help business owners and leaders move from carrying everything themselves to designing leadership that actually scales through clearer accountability, stronger team engagement, and leadership rhythms that create sustainable performance. If that sounds like what you need, head to leaderbydesign.au/club and see what's inside. So here's your takeaway. You can buy every AI tool on the market and your team still won't use it, unless you're willing to go first. The tool doesn't drive adoption. Leadership does. And high-impact leaders don't wait for buy-in. They model the way. Now always remember, design your leadership, build your team, lead with impact.